being here. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to share with you the voice of our community, and we appreciate your support and acknowledgement of our community's important message. I'm going to read the statement. As members of Savannah's LGBTQ community, we are troubled by our public officials' welcoming of Vice President Mike Pence. Mr. Pence has proved himself to be one of the most anti-LGBTQ political crusaders to serve in government. As governor of Indiana, he led a concerted effort to deny equality to LGBTQ people, opposing gay marriage, and signing into law a bill that made it legal for businesses to turn away gay and lesbian customers. As a member of Congress, he voted against the Employment Non-Discrimination Act, the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, co-sponsored a bill to define marriage between a man and a woman, and sought to cut off HIV funding to organizations that did not encourage the reprehensible practice of gay conversion therapy. These attacks have continued, with at least 24 actions by the current administration against LGBTQ people, including those serving in our armed services. Ordinarily, there is no place for his brand of discrimination in Savannah. However, this weekend, he will feel right at home at the largest St. Patrick's Day parade in America that discriminates against LGBTQ organizations. We Savannians are proud of our diversity, so we welcome Vice President Pence to join our interracial gay families raising adopted children, trans service members proudly defending their country, queer artists inspiring creativity, immigrant students dreaming of a bright future with a same-sex spouse, and the many other faces of the hostess city that will proudly line the streets this weekend. And we hope the St. Patrick's Day Committee, whose Southern hospitality frequently resembles Mr. Pence's Hoosier hospitality, will open their eyes and see us as well. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Michael Plotsky.
In 2015, Savannah passed an anti-discrimination ordinance which covered permitting and many, many other aspects of a government operation. And First City Network, which is my organization, has in the past applied for a parade permit to be part of the St. Patrick's Day parade. And in the past, and this was before the ordinance, we were blatantly just ignored. No response to our application at all. And it is time now to say we've had enough.
We do not intend to protest. We welcome dialogue. We hope that the Vice President takes the opportunity to learn more about our community. We certainly welcome Mr. Pence to tour our LGBT Center here to meet with LGBT activists. We can introduce Mr. Pence to queer and trans and LGBT members throughout the spectrum of our community to tell their stories, and we would love for the opportunity to continue to educate our elected leaders. My understanding is that an application from Billy Wooten, who is the chair of our LGBT Center organization. Billy Wooten informed me that the last time that we applied was last year, 2017. What has been the case thus far is that no communication is responded to. Any efforts to participate in the St. Patrick's Day parade has been completely ignored, be it application, phone call, email, or any other manner of communication.
Definitely. City Council has to address this. My plans for next year for the parade is to send that application in certified mail where somebody from that organization has to sign for it. That way, we know they got it. And that way, if they just ignore us, refuse us, we can bring up the anti-discrimination ordinance and probably file a lawsuit. His anti-policies have followed him throughout his entire political career. And as his political career advances all the way up to the White House, he's gotten stronger and stronger and more vocal and more anti-LGBT, rather than honoring the Constitution with equality for all. He obviously does not understand the word all.
There's opportunities for us anytime a public official who opposes our equality comes to town. In this particular instance, This is not just somebody who has had a very public profile as an anti-LGBT politician, but is somebody who has been very successful in waging a campaign against our community. You can look at his record as governor of Indiana and what that meant for his state. This is something that is an opportunity for us. We hope to create dialogue and draw attention to the needs of our community here locally. And his presence is something that we hope is able to communicate and increase dialogue nationally as well. I don't think my existence is political.
By
That's
holding
what
this event and calling out vice presidents.
But I think what this comes down to is equal rights. To me, my rights as a citizen should not be political. I think that turning the question of whether or not I should be treated equally into a political issue is not something that I have any control over. What I will continue to advocate consistently for, and what our community continues to advocate consistently for, is that we be treated equally. And that is all. This is not necessarily about politics so much as they are the ones who control the levers of equality. Mayor Deloche has been a good ally of ours. As the festival chair for Savannah Pride, we had the fortune to have him help us open the ceremonies for Savannah Pride. I met Mr. Deloche the first time as a candidate. He came to an LGBT forum. Certainly my experience as a community member has been positive with Mayor Deloche, and I don't expect that is something that would change. I would make sure that Mayor Deloche understands that our concerns as it regards his affiliations with any other politicians who hold a position that is against our community, that he knows that there's an opportunity to hopefully open dialogue to express an advocacy for his constituents and an advocacy for this city and the beliefs and culture of our community.